what this ceremony is all about, really. We're going to start introducing the honorees, and first off, it's going to be Robert Alpern. He was nominated, we think, by Ellis Waco. Sort of an inner circle we have here going. And he's going to be introduced by Charles Prickett, who is actually been honored on the wall. Where's Charles? How long ago was that? When the very beginning. He's also been a member of the Peace Wall Selection Committee for several years. So why don't you give a warm welcome to Charles Prickett.
Well, good morning. It is my pleasure and my honor to represent and to introduce Robert Zellman Alpern as our newest honoree to the Sebastopol Living Peace Wall. He is living a life of opposition to war and international conflicts, and he always goes to the source, and I'll comment on that later. In 1965, he and Philip Berrigan founded the Baltimore Interfaith Peace Mission to oppose the Vietnam War. The next year, he contacted Secretary of State Dean Rusk and Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. He met with Dean Rusk for an hour at the State Department. McNamara said that if he opposed the war, keep on opposing it. 69 to 75, full time for SANE, end nuclear testing, oppose the Vietnam War. 1972, redress action. He asked the Senate to end funding for the Vietnam War. Blocked the Senate doors, was arrested along with Dr. Benjamin Spock, Carl Hess, and Candice Bergen. 1972, airlift of understanding to India and Bangladesh, and he met with Prime Minister Indira Gandhi in her garden, and he testified before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee about the need for humanitarian aid. 1975 to 95, a 20-year span. He's director of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations and lobbied Congress and the administration for anti-war issues. 1976, National Council of Churches Journey of Reconciliation. He met with Irish, Catholic, and Protestant leaders and organized singing by John Baez and other speakers. 1979, he was part of a 3-person delegation to Cuba, and he helped organize the development of a healthcare system and public school system in Nicaragua. 1980 to 83, National Nuclear Freeze. He continued to lobby on Capitol Hill. 1984, he led 5 fact-finding missions to Jordan, Israel, Egypt, the PLO, and the occupied West Bank and Gaza. And he met with King Hussein, Shimon Peres, and U.S. ambassadors, urging them to end their conflict. 1984 to 95, he was a part of the Churches of Middle East Peace, seeking normalization between Israeli and Palestinians. 1984, he was a witness for the peace delegation during the Contra War, and he stayed in communities threatened by the Contra attacks. 1995, he was in the occupied West Bank with the Palestinian-Israeli Rapprochement Center, and he lived in East Jerusalem, and he firsthand witnessed the harsh treatment from Israeli soldiers to Palestinians. 97 to 2008, he was a member of the Friends Committee on National Legislation. He was their field secretary, and he focused on military spending and nuclear disarmament. He's been a member of the Peace and Justice Center of Sonoma County. He organized a task force on nuclear disarmament, along with Representative Lynn Woolsey, who is on our wall, and he remains a member of the advisory committee. 1999 Nevada Desert Experience. He participated in a 5-day march from Las Vegas to the U.S. Nuclear Weapons Center and was arrested for crossing onto the grounds. 2002 to 2008, he led delegations for a just economic community to Mexico and to learn how NAFTA impacted workers, farmers, the environment, the economy, and human rights. And in 2014 through 2018, he was picketing the Lawrence Livermore lab and blockaded the main gate, and again, he was arrested. In all these situations, he met with prime ministers, kings, ambassadors, secretaries of defense, secretaries of state, people who can make a decision about war and proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. He has devoted his life to this, and he continues to do so, and it's my very, very great pleasure to introduce to you Robert Zellman Alpern.
Thank you, Charles.